Hello everyone, jcarmine960 here, bringing you the first official 24 cards released and announced for Scholomance. I'm going to give you guys the review. We're going to start with the very beginning with Shandel Wildclaw. Some of the cards we already talked about, so I'm going to just cover them again briefly and just kind of give you an idea of where you're going to see it in the meta. So right now it is 12:03 in the morning on the 23rd. We just got through the first day. There's a lot more coming in the next couple of days, so I'm going to try to break these up so these videos aren't too long. One thing I do want to do, though, is talk about my first video. Thank you guys for coming out saying hi. I had some people on some Discord saying they liked it. I did want to point out one comment I saw in there by a jcarmine960. He said, "Who taught this guy how to say adapt?" Yes, I said adapt very weirdly the last video twice in a row, actually, which is kind of weird, so I'm not sure why I did, but jcarmine960, the very nice man in the comments, was able to point that out. So yes, I know how to say adapt. It's a word, and it's a normal word that normal people know how to say, and I can say it too. But that aside, and thank you again, jcarmine960, for saying that. That aside, let's cover these, and we're just going to go real fast. I already talked about this card. Super awesome in Big Beast. Super awesome in kind of a Mass Beast deck. Very flexible. You're going to see it pretty steadily. You're going to see this card. Wand Thief, again, 1 mana, 1/2, decent stats. Got that mage flavor with the spell combo flavor, or a rogue flavor with the combo. And yeah, it's going to be neat to see some discovered boxes on the rogue side, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Rattlegore, I do want to clarify, it does just come back as an 8/8, 7/7, 6/6. You can buff it, but once it's dead, it comes back as the regular one. This card is nutty in the arena. It's going to be really awesome for a control style warrior. It's a 9 cost, so it's going to be hard to really get it on the board, but if you can get an empty turn, just slam it and really have to deal with it. Your opponents do, definitely. So Nature Studies, pretty straightforward. One mana, make your next spell cost 1 less. This will work really well with Kel'Thuzad decks, with the whole Mount Seller package. This is going to be a pretty popular card. Wretched Tutor, this is the spell burst to use as the example. I like it just because, here, every class now has a deal 2 to all enemies sort of removal. And it's cool to see that. Not all classes have removal. This is a great way to get it, plus a 2/5 stat line. Not the best stats, but the 2 damage is really where that comes into play. Transfer Student, you got this for free. People are playing it. It's pretty neat. It's nothing game breaking, so I'm actually really excited that it's a free epic that you get and you play, and it's fun and it's different every single time, but you can't build a deck around it. I've seen Reborn, I've seen Adalaki, I've seen Stealth Poisonous. Pretty cool stuff, so it's nice to have. Nothing that's going to break the game. This card is crazy. You're going to see this in every single Shaman deck. Doesn't matter what Shaman you're running. You can run Totem Shaman and play this card. This card is really strong. Spell Burst, return spell to your hand. You can Lava Burst an opponent twice in a row. You can Farsight 2 times. You get that right back in your hand and use it again if you want to. This card, again, is so good. 2 mana, 2/3, but Spell Burst, give yourself a copy of that spell. Really strong. You're going to see it everywhere. Goody 2 Shields is strong, not as strong as the Diligent Note Taker, but you will see this guy. Any sort of aggro quick deck. It's a 4 mana or 3 mana 4/2, so you're thinking a lot like the Jungle Panther, but instead of stealth, you get Divine Shield. But then you can get Divine Shield again. So it's a class card. It's pretty strong. Not anything to write home about, but if you're looking for a Divine Shield aggro sort of deck, this guy can do some good stuff. Also, getting him off of Evolve's pretty good. Cult Neophyte, I mean, once the meta settles down a little bit, you might see this, especially if you're playing around Spell Burst. Like if Spell Burst become like so good that you know, like, okay, turn 6, you're going to do this with a spell. Play this. Your spells cost 1 more, really messes things up. It also messes up backstabs and coins and, you know, mass removals the next turn. You know, I could see somebody doing this and, you know, shadow stepping it and playing it again, and all of a sudden your opponent's spells cost 2 next turn. I can already see the highlight videos and like Hearthstone daily moments and stuff where it's like, oh, let me coin. Okay, I forgot my coin actually costs 1, so now I did nothing, and now I'm just going to shame concede. You're going to see that probably the first couple of weeks before people really get used to the card. Lightning Bloom is broken. Overload 2 is fine. This is old school Innervate with just Overload synergy. So just boom, I now have 2 mana this turn. Really strong. You can really cheat out some tempo. I could see in Wild, you can play that 2 mana, 2/3, Spell Burst, play this, get the Spell Burst to get it back. So now all of a sudden you got 2 mana, play this again, get the Spell Burst to get it back, and then you play the 4 mana 7/7, and then your next turn you're overloaded, but who cares because you just played 9, 10 worth of stats on turn 2. So yeah, this card is going to do a lot of really crazy things, and I'm excited to see it in action. Devolving Missiles is a really cool dual class card. You got the flavor of Devolve Shaman, and you got the flavor of Mage Arcane Missiles. It doesn't do any damage, but it is very good at thinning out a board, bringing it down its power level. I can see Mana Sabers getting dropped to 1 mana. You can see a 2/5 Reborn, the 4/5 Shield of Galakron getting dropped down to a 2-drop. So this will be definitely in some decks that are looking to really control the game, or really nice to get off of a Discover, Magic Trick, stuff like that. So this card is, you're going to see some play. Not in every deck, but you're definitely going to see some play. Troublemaker. Now, actually, before I did this video, I did like a 20-some minute video, botched the outro, didn't like it at all. So now I'm doing a new one. I'm trying to make it a little faster, but this card I went to great detail. 8 mana is always tricky, right? It's very important mana cost because hero powers and stuff like that. 8 mana 6/8 isn't the greatest. However, summoning the 3/3s that attack immediately is just so good, right? Think about 10 mana in a Grand Slam are 3/5s, and you don't play it because you get the 3/5s. You play it because you could potentially do 12 damage that turn. 8 mana, you get half of that damage, but you get a stickier minion with the 6/8. My prediction is this is going to get nerfed. I honestly think you're going to see the 3/3s get turned into 2/3s, because I think that's where a lot of the power of this card is. The fact that it has 8 health versus, like, if it was like an 8/6, it would be worse. 6/8 health is better. This card is really good. Control, or even the risky skipper combo, this is going to close out games or swing boards very well. Or if you get this off of a Witchy Lackey, you get it off an Evolve, you get it off the Marsh Hydra, you're going to be excited whenever you see this card. This card is going to be awesome. I'm calling it now. It's a 5-star. It's going to be great. Unless aggro Paladin is something, this card's really not going to do much, but just kind of fill your hand. I don't think a lot of people are going to be putting this card in their deck, but 4/9 for 6 isn't bad. 2 random spells isn't terrible. It's just, you're really going to see this off of Alex. You're really going to see this off of Discover Lackeys. Get me this to find my burn, to close out a game, to get the value, to do this or that and everything in between. It's a decently statted dragon for 6 mana. Nothing to write home about, but it's neutral. So a lot of, if you really look for dragon synergy, you might toss this in there, but it's nothing game breaking. This 1 mana 1/4, just really good stats for 1, but it's in Priest. So we'll see what happens if there's like an aggro style Priest, maybe. But there is a legendary that this kind of synergizes with, and we'll get to that one. Combustion, deal 4, any excess damages both neighbors. And the way I think I see it is you have 3 2-health minions, you deal 4 to the middle one, it will deal 2 to the other ones, clearing the whole board, technically dealing 6 damage. Not 4 and then 1 and 1. It doesn't say split its damage between both neighbors. It says deal its damage. Kel'Thuzad. I am excited to see this card in action. I consider myself a decent deck builder. I understand drawing and tutoring out specific cards and value versus aggro, and when you're playing aggro, how much damage does this mana, blah, blah, blah. I do okay with it. Not the greatest. There are definitely better deck builders out there, but I'm excited to see the combos that come from this, because if the spell destroys any minions, so you can destroy your own minions, maybe some death rattles, really cool, kill this, summon this back, or even just a really big board removal. You got a you got a Calicos out there and you Flame Strike, and now all of a sudden you got the Card-2 defenders on your side. So there's some really cool things that you can do with this. I'm excited to see this card built around. This is a card that you definitely put some removal around it. Yeah, Still Dancer, super good. 4 mana, 4/4 is a pretty decent stat line, plus any sort of aggro deck, token style deck. You want to hit somebody in the face, dual class warrior and rogue, so you're going to have a weapon and you're going to get something off of this. It's just a good card. It's an epic for a reason. You're going to see this card a lot, and you're not going to be happy when you do either. I'm seeing this card as like a meme card, 4 mana, 4/2, nothing crazy. The games where your opponent has 4 health and they have a taunt, and you're just like, man, what do I do? You top deck this, you backstab it, you do whatever you got to do to kill it, and then the 4/2 goes face and you win. So you're going to see this in a lot of highlights, but I don't think this card's going to see a lot of excessive play unless, again, it's just an extremely aggro meta. Aside from the flavor text, I don't think this card's any good. Might see this in Arena, but deal 3 damage to all minions for 7 isn't that great. The 3/3 spirits are pretty cool, but nothing to write home about. It's just kind of a too slow of a card. I went on a tangent on the first video I did. Destroying an enemy, pick an enemy and destroy it, costs 5 mana in the game. That's called Assassinate. You can start talking about other ways to do it. You can lower the cost, but change the window, so 5 or higher attack minions, 3 or lower, with Shadow or Pain of Death. That costs 2 mana, but it's stipulations, right? Even the 6 mana 3/3 for the Warlocks, that if you draw it, you destroy all of them, but if you don't, it's got a 3/3 body, destroy that item or that person. This is pretty good. You're going to see this in a lot of decks, and you're going to be very frustrated when you see it, but this is about a 6 mana 3/3 destroy an enemy. Life tap and hero power. Now there's other ways you can cheat it out, but that's your standard 6 mana remove a target. It's just a rare, so you're going to see it a lot. It is one of those cards that any sort of control, priest, control, warlock is going to use. And if there's some decent taunts in the games, you might even see an aggro lock just to get through those taunts and let their minions connect with face. You're going to see a lot of this card. Boneweb Egg, aggro warlock, and it pairs with the 4/4 or the legendary that as you play a minion, you destroy it and summon a 4/4. This is summon a 2/1 spiders. If you discard it with like a Soulfire, you get it. So there's some decent, aggro, you're going to run this. Outside of aggro, you'll never see it. This is the 4 mana I was talking about. Legendary, priest, warlock. After you play a minion, destroy it and summon a 4/4 field student. If it's got a death rattle, trigger the death rattle. If it's got anything special with it, it's a battle cry. Do the battle cry and then get it good stats. So the video reveal on this was Kibler's. It was pretty cool. He did his LARPing style. I'm a professor at Scholomance. It was really well done. The video they show is the nut dream version of it, where you have 10 mana, you play him, you play a leper gnome, you play the discard guy and get back the hands of Glodans and all this other stuff. Obviously, that's best case scenario. Honestly, you're probably going to use this on turn 6, turn 5. You got this, you drop a low cost and turn it into a 4/4. So now all of a sudden you got a 5 mana, 7, 10. 6 mana, you got all these extra stats for free. So you're going to see this card a lot. Don't think you're going to see it a lot in Priest unless there's some sort of aggro archetype I haven't seen, but yeah, you're going to see this card a lot. And then the last one, Flesh Giant. It's just, instead of casting spells to reduce it, your hero's health has to change. So heal yourself, damage yourself, doesn't matter. If your health changes during your turns, this costs less. And it doesn't say each turn it costs it once. It says every time during your turn, so that's important. I can heal myself 2-3 times in a turn as a priest, right? You can play Flame Imp on 1, and then you can tap on 2, and all of a sudden this costs 6. So there's a lot you can do to get the cost of this down. I immediately thought of like Mountain Giant. You're trying to cheat out the stats as quickly as you can. And yeah, turn 4, turn 5, you're going to see Flesh Giants hit the board. So we've seen a lot of Priest and Warlock stuff so far. So we're going to see if they can kind of build something around it. But you're really going to see a lot of Flesh Giants. Just being able to cheat out that many stats is going to happen. So that's the first review. Hopefully you guys like it. If you do, give it a like, give it a subscribe. Make sure you turn on those notifications so you know when all my videos come out. Just to give you a heads up, I'm going to post this straight on to YouTube. Our normal editor, Dad Bowman, he's very busy, starting a new job. He's doing a lot of traveling, a lot of a lot of training. So we're going to let him take a little bit of a break of the editing. So sorry, there's no really cool flashy intro or crazy cool screenshot. I might try to throw something together real fast, but yeah, that's kind of a little update on us. You might see that for the next couple of videos until he kind of gets settled into his new job and all that other stuff. So if you like the video, you like what I said, any comments or anything you don't like what I said, give it to me. Especially that J Carmi 960 guy. Yes, make fun of the way I say the word adapt. That's perfectly fine. So I look forward to making some more videos for you guys. Hopefully you look forward to seeing them. And until the next one comes out, keep on playing and keep looking out there for... oh wow, that is a lot of me on the screen at once. I don't like that. I will see you guys soon.